Guys, hope you guys are all doing well. This is Dr. Khan, and I'm here today to talk to you about the difficult mother-in-law. Yes, I am going to talk about it. We all know if you're from certain homogenous cultures, you've probably encountered a difficult mother-in-law. These mother-in-laws love to make their daughter-in-law's lives miserable, and sometimes it goes to an extreme level where they start torturing their daughter-in-laws. And it's really, really sad, and we need to stop the cycle. I'm going to talk about why this happens and how to stop it. This video is not just for the daughter-in-laws or the mother-in-laws. It's for every Muslim family. It's also for the husbands. Husbands out there, this can save your daughter's marriage. This can save your own marriages. And this can give you guys peace and love in your family. So let's talk about this crisis that happens in a lot of Muslim communities. Now, when I talk about homogenous cultures, I'm talking about individuals from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, African cultures, Middle Eastern, and Arab cultures. So what do I mean by that? So I just want you to understand that Islam does not promote abuse of any type. Okay, when I talk about Muslim communities, I'm talking about Muslim communities that have been afflicted by the cultural Islam. The Islam that was distorted to benefit the culture. Okay, and these homogenous cultures that I just mentioned, many of them suffer from the cultural Islam. Okay, so I'm going to talk about number one, the programming that happens in these homogenous cultures to daughters, to women. I'm going to talk about how this leads the programming. They are programmed to be codependent or they develop narcissistic tendencies, and how these mother-in-laws start becoming narcissistic, and how to stop it. Okay, so what is the programming? Okay, so this is the programming that happens. As I said in many of my recordings, we are born as blank slates. And as soon as we're born, we're programmed. Okay, there's an unconscious programming that happens, a childhood brainwashing. We are basically programmed by society, by our environment, by our family, our parents, by the cultural norms around us. So what happens? Okay, so basically at a very, very young age, these women in these girls in these homogenous cultures are taught to be codependent. They are taught it, they learn it, they see it from their from their mothers, from their grandmothers. So basically they're taught to not have any feelings. They're taught that their self-worth doesn't matter. Their self-worth comes outside of themselves by the roles they play. Being a mother, a daughter, a good wife, a good sister, good daughter-in-law. So that's how they feel that they need to reach self-actualization, as Abraham Maslow has mentioned. But it's not true. It's a faulty belief. It's false. It's so ingrained in the women in these cultures that they don't even know how to feel anymore. They don't know what their wants are anymore. They don't know what their needs are anymore. So basically, they're programmed not to trust their feelings, not to trust what they think, and that's how they basically live in this robotic, hypnotic state, just doing for others, sacrificing in the expense of themselves. Okay, so now what's going on? Like, why does this happen, and why does this happen? Like, so what happens because of the programming? So this is what happens because of the programming. So now you have this daughter who's watching her mother, too busy with her in-laws, her husband, and that daughter's in the background, never being validated for her feelings. She's never asked what she wants. She's programmed to suppress her feelings, right? Don't bring shame to the family. Just do, because if you if you engage in being what you're in the roles that you're supposed to be engaging in, you'll be fine. That's it. Just don't even think about yourself. So now this daughter never getting this love and the appropriate love and a validation from her family, because the father was too busy, doing his programming, engaging in his programming, and the mother engaging in her programming, that they were never seen. So now they get married, right, and start a home with their husband, their spouse, and now they're addicted to validation because they never received that validation from their parents. So now they go to their home, they start a home with their husbands, and now they're seeking validation from their mother-in-law, their husband, even their own kids. And the cycle continues, and they never receive it. So now just let's stop for a minute and recap. Programmed to not have any feelings. Okay? They saw this at their home. Never validated in their own home by the two most important adults in their life. Okay? Their parents. Now they leave their parents' home, and now they go to start a home with their husband. Now again, they're not getting validation, right? Because the mother-in-law, they're seeking constant validation from everybody else again to get self-worth. Okay? So this is what ends up happening. Okay? So now this daughter-in-law is now doing, giving, right? Now she's a daughter-in-law. So she's giving, doing, making sure our home is fine, because that's what she saw her mother do, right? Now, she's now in the next stage of her life. Now she turns into a mother-in-law, right? After she raises her kids and just gives and gives and gives. Now she's this daughter-in-law. By that time, what happens to a lot of women in these homogenous cultures is they start getting numb. They cut off from pain because they've been so tortured or so neglected and not validated that now they're like, I'm gonna take. This is where they start developing that narcissistic tendencies. What is narcissism? Narcissism is egocentric behavior. Individuals become very defensive. They can't see past their feelings. They become numb to their feelings, as I said. They basically can't wait any longer to be validated anymore. So they demand validation. So now this woman, as you saw at a very young stage, how she was never validated, right? She was programmed not to have any feelings, from her home to her adult home, and now she's a mother-in-law. By the time she's a mother-in-law, she is cut off from pain because she becomes numb. Now she demands that, and she takes it from her new daughter, now her current daughter-in-law. Do you see how this cycle happens? It's so sad. And it's such great awareness because we don't know about this. Families out there, we are so unaware of this. We are so unaware of this cycle. And this, if you start really talking about this with your families, you will change the dynamic of your home. You will bring awareness to your home and stop this sick cycle of torture. Okay, how do we stop it? Okay, so now we've seen how we're programmed to be codependent, right? After the codependency happens, how this may turn into narcissistic tendencies by the time you're a mother-in-law. Okay, so how do we stop this? At the moment, how do we stop this? Okay, number one, I'm going to first talk to the daughter-in-laws, and then I'm going to talk to the mother-in-laws. Okay, so daughter-in-laws, I want you to stop and remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you, that God loves you. Okay, you were created not to just be a slave. You were created to be a person out there creating strong, having daughters, teaching daughters to be strong individuals, strong women who are out there completing a mission in their life to make a difference in the world, right? So number one, I want you to start developing empathy for yourself. I want you to stop and start thinking about your former selves when you were 7, when you were 6, and start empathizing with that little child that never got the validation that they needed. Okay? I want you to start staying in your reality, seeing things for what they are. Just because there are labels in front of you, because again, you were programmed to believe that anybody with a label know best, right? That's not true. So see people past their labels, okay? Remember, labels don't mean anything, okay? So stay in your reality. Another thing is grow a protective shell around you. So what do I mean by that? Start being aware of what you feel. Start accepting what you feel, and start setting boundaries. Start taking care of yourself, remembering that you have basic needs. Drink water, take your vitamins. Just don't keep doing without in the expense of you, because you matter. Okay, you are the woman of the house and you matter. Love yourself. Start loving yourself. It's not your job to fix people. Everyone has their journey, right? So take care of yourself. All right, daughter-in-laws, take care of yourself, because your daughters are watching. Your daughters are watching. I'm telling you, you guys are role models. So again, number one, empathize. Basically what I want you to get from this is start empathizing with your old self. Start forgiving your old self. Start realizing that our parents had the best intentions, but they didn't know better. That was their programming. So that's number one. Number two, start acknowledging your feelings. Really start owning your feelings. Understand what your feelings, just like sit there and like process the word feeling and what it means. Because I remember when I didn't know what feelings were at one point in my life, until my friends actually sat there and said, you have a right to your feelings. You have a right to your feelings. And keep saying that over and over. And start healing. Mother-in-laws, we love you. You guys, we love you so much, mother-in-laws, and we have so much respect for you, but you need to stop torturing and creating chaos in your families. You know, and I get it. I understand that you suffered. But that doesn't give you the right to make your daughter-in-law suffer. You know, so how do you start taking the veils off of this narcissistic tendency that you developed? Number one, start just start empathizing with your 7-year-old, 6-year-old, 5-year-old self when you didn't get that validation. Start empathizing with that young adult, you know, when you were a daughter and you never got that validation. Start empathizing with yourself when you were the wife and you had a mother-in-law, and start empathizing with yourself and just say, you know what, it was all the programming. It was the programming. You know, my mother-in-law didn't know better. Start forgiving everybody. Once you're ready, start forgiving yourself first, then start forgiving other people in your life. Once you start taking those layers off and start empathizing with yourself and being aware of what happened, you'll start feeling again. Yes, mother-in-law, you will start feeling again. You'll start seeing your daughter-in-law for the beautiful soul she is. You'll start seeing your grandchildren for the beautiful souls they are. You'll see your son for the beautiful soul he is. And the family will start flourishing. I promise you it will. This is a very, very important topic for me, because I've suffered from it. And I know how marriages are broken due to this. So I highly recommend that, you know, this is talked about in our communities. It has to be talked about. If you do need to contact me, my information is available on my YouTube channel to help your families understand this cycle and just how to break this cycle. And you know what? As soon as we start breaking these cycles, we'll have happier homes. We'll have a stronger family unit, healthy family units, you know, and life will be good and our ummah will be stronger. It will. You know, we can just be happy because we're supposed to be happy, right? Okay, guys, so lots of love to you guys and lots of blessings. And I will be talking to you guys very soon. Okay, take care. Bye. Assalamu alaikum.